Hello everyone and welcome back to EverlastCyber. In today's video, we'll be going through some practice questions for artificial intelligence and machine learning. We'll be starting right off with question 1. What is the primary goal of artificial intelligence? A. To replace human intelligence completely. B. To create systems that can perform tasks requiring human intelligence. C. To make computers faster. D. To automate all jobs. Looking at option A, that would be incorrect because artificial intelligence is not meant to completely replace human intelligence, but rather to augment and assist it. In option B, the primary goal of artificial intelligence is not to replace human intelligence, but to develop systems that can simulate human cognitive abilities such as reasoning, problem solving, learning, perception, and language understanding. Artificial intelligence enables machines to perform tasks that would typically require human intelligence, such as speech recognition, decision making, and pattern detection. Option C is also incorrect because AI is not solely about speed. Rather, it focuses on intelligent decision making instead of computational efficiency. Option D is equally incorrect because AI can automate certain jobs, but it does not aim to eliminate all jobs. It often works alongside humans to enhance productivity. So for this question, our answer would be option B. The primary goal of artificial intelligence is to create systems that can perform tasks requiring human intelligence. Question 2. Which of the following is an example of machine learning? A. A calculator performing arithmetic. B. A chat box improving its responses over time. C. A computer storing data in a database. D. A program executing the same task repeatedly. Machine learning is actually a subset of artificial intelligence and it allows systems to learn from data and improve their performance over time without being explicitly programmed. So, looking at option a calculator performing arithmetic, that wouldn't be the correct answer. Looking at option a calculator performing arithmetic. For that, it is not an example of machine learning because a calculator follows predefined rules and it doesn't learn from experience. In option B, that would be an example of machine learning because, like I mentioned earlier, it allows systems to learn from data and improve their performance over time. Let's look at option C. Let's look at option C, a computer storing data in a database. For this one, that would also not be the correct answer because this is just data storage and not learning. The computer does not improve or adapt its performance based on the data. And in option D, a program executing the same task repeatedly describes automation and not machine learning. Machine learning involves adjusting behavior based on data patterns rather than just repeating tasks. So for this, our answer would be option B, a chat box improving its responses over time because they would have learned from data and then they improve their performance without being programmed. So a chat box that improves its responses over time is a great example of machine learning because it analyzes past interactions, learns from user input, and refines its answers based on experience. Question 3. What type of machine learning involves labeled data? A. Supervised learning. B. Unsupervised learning. C. Reinforcement learning. D. Deep learning. Supervised learning is a type of machine learning that involves training a model using labeled data. This means that each input is paired with a correct output. So the model learns by mapping inputs to outputs based on these labels. For instance, a spam email filter is trained on a data set where emails are labeled as spam or not spam. So the model learns to classify new emails based on these labels. In option B, unsupervised learning does not use labeled data. Instead, it identifies patterns and structures within unlabeled data, such as customer segmentation. Reinforcement learning uses a reward-based system instead of labeled data. So this model learns by taking actions in an environment and then receiving feedback. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning that can use either labeled or unlabeled data, but it is not specifically defined by labeled data alone. So with respect to this question 3, our answer is option A, supervised learning. This model learns by mapping inputs to outputs based on the labeled examples. Question 4. In unsupervised learning, the algorithm learns from A, labeled data, B, data with predefined answers, C, patterns and relationships in the data, D, human feedback. In option A, labeled data is actually used for supervised learning, where the data comes with predefined outputs. For option B, unsupervised learning does not have predefined answers. Instead, it discovers insights on its own. So in unsupervised learning, the algorithm learns by identifying patterns, structures, and relationships in unlabeled data without predefined answers. So instead of being told what the correct outputs are, the model groups similar data points or finds hidden structures within the data sets. In option D, human feedback is used in reinforcement learning, where the model learns by receiving rewards or penalties based on its actions. An example of unsupervised learning would be customer segmentation. So, a retail company can use unsupervised learning to group customers with similar purchasing behaviors without prior labels. So, with respect to the question, the algorithm for unsupervised learning learns from option C, patterns and relationships in the data. Question 5. Which of the following is an example of deep learning? A, decision trees. B, simple linear regression. C, neural networks with multiple layers. D, rule-based expert systems. Decision trees is actually a type of machine learning algorithm, but it is not used in deep learning. Simple linear regression is a basic statistical method that finds relationships between two variables, but it does not involve multiple layers or neural networks. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning that uses artificial neural networks with multiple layers. These multiple layers are also called deep neural networks, and they learn complex patterns in data. These deep networks enables models to handle image recognition, speech processing, and natural language understanding at a very high level. In option D, rule-based expert systems are systems that rely on predefined rules that are created by humans rather than learning from data like the deep learning models do. So with respect to question 5, our answer is option C. An example of deep learning is neural networks with multiple layers. Question 6. What does reinforcement learning focus on? A, learning from a labeled data set. B, improving decision making through rewards and penalties. C, clustering similar data points. D. Predicting future values based on past data. In option A, learning from a labeled data set describes supervised learning, where the model is trained with predefined inputs and output pairs. Reinforcement learning, on the other hand, is a type of machine learning where an agent learns by interacting with an environment and receiving rewards or penalties based on the actions it takes. So the goal is to maximize cumulative rewards over time by improving decision making. For option C, clustering similar data points is an example of unsupervised learning because the models find patterns in unlabeled data. And in option D, predicting future values based on past data is an example of time series analysis. And this is often done using supervised learning. For instance, it's used in stock price prediction. With respect to the question we have, reinforcement learning focuses on improving decision making through rewards and penalties, and that is option B. Question 7. Which algorithm is commonly used for image recognition? A. Convolutional neural networks. B. Support vector machine. C. K nearest neighbor. D. Naive Bayes. Convolutional neural networks are the most commonly used algorithms for image recognition and processing, and they are designed to automatically detect patterns, urges, and textures in images. And this makes them highly effective for tasks like facial recognition, medical imaging, and object detection. So this is likely our answer, but let's look at the other options. The support vector machine is used for classification tasks, but it is not as effective as the convolutional neural network for image recognition. The K nearest neighbors is a simple algorithm used for classification and clustering, but it does not perform well on large image datasets. While the naive Bayes is a probabilistic model that is commonly used for text classification, so it is used for things like spam filtering rather than image recognition. So, based on the explanation of the options, our answer is option A. Some examples of convolutional neural networks in action is the facial recognition systems we have on our smartphones for Face ID, for medical imaging, that is detection of tumors in X-rays and MRIs, as well as in autonomous vehicles, where they can identify pedestrians, they can identify road signs, as well as obstacles. Question 8. What is the main function of natural language processing? A. Identifying objects in images. B. Understanding and processing human language. C. Predicting stock market trends. D. Running automation scripts. Option A, this identifying objects in images is the role of computer vision, and this is often used in convolutional neural networks. Natural language processing is a branch of AI that focuses on enabling computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language in a meaningful way. So, the natural language processing powers applications like speech recognition, language translation, and chatbox. In option C, predicting stock market trends is done using a time series analysis and machine learning models like regression or neural networks. But these are not the functions of natural language processing. In option D, running automation scripts is related to robotic process automation and not natural language processing. So our answer here would be option B. The main function of natural language processing is to understand and process human language. Question 9. In AI, what is a neural network inspired by? A. Human brain. B. Animal instincts. C. Computer processors. D. Mathematical equations. Now, from the name itself, neural, that has to do with the brain, the human brain. So it's obvious that our answer is option A, but we're going to go through the explanation of each of them. So a neural network in AI is inspired by the human brain and its network of neurons. So just like how the neurons in the brain processes and transmits information, artificial neural networks consist of interconnected nodes that processes data and learns from it. In option B, neural networks do not mimic instincts. They are rather designed to process data and learn patterns like the human brain. For option C, while neural networks run on processors, they are not inspired by processors. And in option D, neural networks use mathematical models, but their main inspiration comes from the structure and functioning of the human brain. So our answer here is option A. Some examples of neural networks in action is predictive analytics used in weather forecasting and fraud detection. It is also used in self-driving cars to identify obstacles and make driving decisions, as well as speech and image recognition for voice assistance and facial recognitions. Question 10. What is the term for a situation where a computer learning model performs well on training data but poorly on new data? A. Underfitting. B. Overfitting. C. Optimization. D. Data leakage. Underfitting happens when the model is too simple and it cannot capture the underlying patterns in the data. This will result to poor performance on both training and new data. Overfitting occurs when a machine learning model performs very well on the training data but fails to generalize to new or unseen data. This happens when the model learns not only the general patterns but also the noise and random fluctuations in the training data, and this makes it less adaptable to new data. Data leakage occurs when information from outside the training dataset is used to train the model. And this leads to overly optimistic performance estimate, but it is not the same as overfitting. So with respect to the question, our answer here is option B, overfitting. Some examples of overfitting is when a model is trained to predict house prices, so it may memorize the exact prices from the training set. But when new data is introduced, it fails to make accurate predictions because it did not learn the general trend, such as location and size. Question 11. Which of the following is not commonly used programming language for AI and machine learning? A. Python. B. Java. C. C++. D. HTML. Python is one of the most popular and widely used programming languages for artificial intelligence and machine learning due to its simplicity and extensive libraries. Java is also used in artificial intelligence and machine learning, particularly in enterprise applications. While C++ is not as common as Python, C++ is also used in AI applications, particularly in scenarios that requires high performance and low-level hardware interaction like game development and robotics. HTML or Hypertext Markup Language is a markup language that is used for creating and structuring web pages. It is not a programming language. It is rather used for formatting and displaying content on the web, but it does not have the capability for implementing artificial intelligence or machine learning. So, option D, HTML, is not used in programming for artificial intelligence or machine learning. Question 12. Which machine learning model is best suited for spam email detection? A. Linear regression. B. Decision trees. C. Naive Bayes classifier. D. K-means clustering. The linear regression is used for predicting continuous values. Decision trees can be used for classification, but they are generally more complex and less efficient for text classification tasks. Naive Bayes classifier is well suited for spam email detection because it is a probabilistic classifier that works well with text classification tasks. So it makes predictions based on the probability of words appearing in spam or non-spam emails. And the algorithm is simple, fast, and performs well on high dimensional data like emails. The K-means clustering is an unsupervised learning algorithm used for clustering data, but it is not used for classification, so it would not be suitable for spam email detection. So our answer here is option C. Question 13. What is an advantage of using AI in healthcare? A. AI can completely replace doctors. B. AI can help detect diseases early through predictive analysis. C. AI eliminates the need for medical education. D. AI ensures 100% accuracy in diagnosis. For this, we'll be going with option B because it's quite obvious. One of the key advantages of using AI in healthcare is its ability to analyze large amounts of medical data and predict potential health issues even before they become serious. AI-driven tools like machine learning models can help to detect patterns and anomalies that may be missed by humans, such as in the early detection of cancer, heart diseases, and other medical conditions through predictive analytics. So, an example of AI in healthcare is in radiology. So, AI algorithms analyze medical images to detect conditions like tumors, and it is often good with early detection, leading to more successful treatments. Question 14. Which AI concept involves machines making decisions without human intervention? A. Automation. B. Supervised learning. C. Artificial general intelligence. D. Reinforcement learning. Automation refers to the use of technology to perform tasks or make decisions without human intervention. They can involve machines making autonomous decisions based on predefined rules and algorithms without requiring constant human input or supervision. In supervised learning, that's option B, the machine learns from labeled data, but human intervention is required during the training process to provide labels and corrections. In option C, artificial general intelligence refers to machines that can understand and learn any intellectual task that a human can, but it is still theoretical. It would aim for human level cognition. Reinforcement learning allows machines to make decisions by learning from rewards and penalties, but it still requires training based on feedback. So, based on these options, the concept that involves machines making decisions without human intervention is option A, automation. Question 15. What is the purpose of a training dataset in machine learning? A, to test the accuracy of a model. B, to evaluate the performance of a model. C, to teach a model patterns and relationships. D, to store data for future reference. Option A is the purpose of the test data set and not the training data set. So the test data set is used to evaluate how well a model generalizes to new data. In option B, the option we have to evaluate the performance of a model, this is done using validation or test data sets, but not the training data set. Remember, the question is asking for the purpose of a training data set. A training data set is used to teach a machine learning model by exposing it to labeled examples or raw data. This model learns the patterns, relationships, and characteristics in the data so that it can make predictions or classification on new or unseen data. In option D, while datasets can be stored for future use, the training dataset's primary purpose is to teach the model by providing data examples for it to learn from. So based on the options we have, our answer is option C. The purpose of a training dataset in machine learning is to teach a model patterns and relationships. Some examples of a training dataset in action is in image classification. A training dataset might consist of thousands of labeled images that the model uses to learn how to classify new images it encounters. This brings us to the end of the multiple choice questions of the artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is the part 1 video. I'll be releasing a part 2 video later. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and also hit the subscribe button so that you'll be informed when the part 2 video will be dropping. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.